The war in Ukraine has reached a critical juncture. After months of pleas for more potent weaponry, the Biden administration has authorized the transfer of long-range ATACMS missiles to Ukrainian forces. This decision signifies a major shift in U.S. policy, one with the potential to reshape the trajectory of the conflict and send ripples across the global stage. The world watches with bated breath as the deployment of these advanced missiles marks a turning point in the war, raising questions about its impact on the battlefield and the potential for broader escalation. The decision comes amidst a backdrop of intensified Russian aggression. Ukraine faces a relentless barrage of attacks on its cities and vital infrastructure, demanding a robust response to defend its territory and citizens. The provision of ATACMS missiles is a clear signal of unwavering Western support for Ukraine. It also underscores the growing concern over the conflict's potential to spill beyond Ukraine's borders and engulf the region in a wider war. The Biden administration's decision to supply Ukraine with ATACMS missiles is rooted in a complex web of strategic calculations. Foremost among these is the urgent need to bolster Ukraine's defensive capabilities against relentless Russian attacks. Ukraine has been pleading for long-range weapons to strike Russian military assets situated beyond the reach of their current arsenal. The ATACMS, with their extended range, will enable Ukraine to target Russian command centers, logistics hubs, and ammunition depots located deep within Russian-held territory. The decision also carries significant political weight. With the U.S. presidential election looming, the Biden administration is under pressure to demonstrate its unwavering commitment to Ukraine's defense. Providing ATACMS missiles serves as a powerful symbol of American resolve, signaling to both Russia and its allies that the U.S. will continue to stand by Ukraine as it fights for its survival. However, the decision is not without its critics, who argue that it risks escalating the conflict and drawing the U.S. deeper into a direct confrontation with Russia. The Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS, is a surface-to-surface missile system renowned for its precision strike capabilities at extended ranges. Developed by Lockheed Martin, the ATACMS has been a mainstay in the U.S. Army's arsenal for decades, providing a potent deterrent against a wide range of threats. The missiles can be launched from the versatile M270 MLRs and M142 HIMARS platforms, both of which have already been supplied to Ukraine by its Western allies. What sets the ATACMS apart is its ability to deliver devastating blows against high-value targets with pinpoint accuracy from a safe distance. This capability will be crucial for Ukraine as it seeks to disrupt Russia's military operations and degrade its ability to wage war effectively. The ATACMS can be armed with a variety of warheads, each tailored for specific mission requirements. Whether it's neutralizing enemy air defenses, crippling command and control nodes, or destroying key infrastructure, the ATACMS provides Ukraine with a versatile and lethal weapon system to counter Russian aggression. The arrival of ATACMS missiles in Ukraine is poised to have significant ramifications for the battlefield dynamics of the war. Ukrainian forces have already demonstrated their proficiency in utilizing Western-supplied weapons systems to great effect, and the ATACMS is expected to be no exception. With its extended range, Ukraine can now target Russian military assets that were previously out of reach, disrupting their logistics, command and control, and air superiority. The psychological impact of the ATACMS deployment cannot be overstated. The ability to strike deep within Russian-held territory sends a powerful message to both the Russian military and the Russian populace. It undermines their sense of security and erodes confidence in their leadership's ability to protect them. This psychological blow could prove just as damaging as the physical destruction wrought by the missiles themselves. Section 5. The Kremlin's response, escalation, or restraint. Russia has reacted to the news of ATACMS transfers with predictable fury, issuing stern warnings and threatening dire consequences. The Kremlin views the provision of such advanced weaponry as a dangerous escalation by the West and a provocation that could lead to a wider conflict. However, Russia's options for responding to the ATACMS deployment are constrained by a number of factors. Militarily, Russia is already stretched thin in Ukraine, and its forces are showing signs of strain. While Russia possesses a vast nuclear arsenal, resorting to such an extreme measure carries its own set of risks and consequences that likely outweigh any perceived benefits. The Kremlin is also acutely aware of the potential for further Western intervention should it escalate the conflict beyond Ukraine's borders. This delicate balance of power will likely temper Russia's response as it seeks to avoid a wider conflagration. Section 6. A ripple effect across the globe. The decision to send ATACMS missiles to Ukraine reverberates far beyond the battlefields of Eastern Europe. It has sent shockwaves through the international community, prompting a mixture of support and condemnation from world leaders. The move has also reignited debates about the role of Western military aid in international conflicts and the potential for escalation in an already volatile geopolitical landscape. The ATACMS transfer has also exposed the growing rift between Russia and the West. The Kremlin views the decision as confirmation of its belief that the West is actively working to undermine Russia's security and influence on the world stage. This perception is likely to further harden Russia's stance, making any prospect of a negotiated settlement to the conflict even more elusive. The long-term consequences of the ATACMS decision on global security and the balance of power remain to be seen. Section 7. Experts divided. Navigating the precipice of escalation. The decision to provide ATACMS missiles to Ukraine has ignited a fierce debate among experts, with opinions sharply divided on the potential for escalation. Some argue that the move represents a measured and calculated risk, providing Ukraine with the means to defend itself without significantly increasing the likelihood of a wider conflict. They point out that Russia has repeatedly threatened dire consequences in response to Western support for Ukraine, yet has refrained from escalating the conflict beyond its current scope. Others, however, express deep concern that the ATACMS transfer represents a dangerous gamble, one that could inadvertently trigger a chain of events leading to a catastrophic confrontation between NATO and Russia. They argue that the Kremlin's calculus is unpredictable, and that even a perceived existential threat to Russia could provoke an extreme response. This debate underscores the high stakes involved in the decision to provide Ukraine with such advanced weaponry, and the uncertainty surrounding its ultimate impact on the trajectory of the conflict. Section 8. A world on edge, geopolitical and economic tremors. The war in Ukraine, now further intensified by the introduction of ATACMS missiles, has sent shockwaves through the global geopolitical and economic order. The conflict has exposed the fragility of international norms, shattered long-held assumptions about the balance of power, and fueled anxieties about a new era of great power competition. The economic fallout from the war has been equally profound, disrupting supply chains, driving up energy prices and fueling inflation worldwide. The ATACMS decision adds another layer of complexity to this already volatile landscape. It underscores the West's determination to counter Russian aggression, but it also risks deepening the divide between Russia and the West, making any prospect of cooperation on pressing global challenges even more remote. The long-term geopolitical and economic consequences of the ATACMS decision are still unfolding, but one thing is certain: the world is grappling with the most dangerous security crisis in a generation, and the stakes could not be higher. Section 9. The unfolding future of warfare. The conflict in Ukraine is often described as the first drone war, a harbinger of future conflicts where unmanned systems and standoff weaponry play a decisive role. The introduction of ATACMS missiles into the equation further reinforces this notion, highlighting the evolving nature of warfare and the challenges it poses for traditional military doctrines and strategies. The conflict has also underscored the importance of information warfare, cyber attacks, and economic leverage as tools of modern warfare. The ATACMS decision itself reflects the changing calculus of warfare, where the line between conventional and unconventional warfare becomes increasingly blurred. The decision underscores the West's recognition that providing Ukraine with advanced weaponry, even at the risk of escalation, is necessary to counter Russia's hybrid warfare tactics and deter further aggression. The lessons learned from the conflict in Ukraine will undoubtedly shape the future of warfare, influencing military planning, weapons development, and international security arrangements for years to come.